Good day, Solid Rock Youth, and welcome back to 2020 2.0. And guys, let's take back 2020 because it's not too late to do changes in your life, to clean out what doesn't belong. And today's topic is all about discipline. But before we begin with discipline, let's look at the definition of discipline. Discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior, using punishment to correct disobedience. Now guys, I know if we hear discipline, we as young people tend to just don't care, we just want to run away, we hate that word. But if you start to love this word discipline, it will get you so much success in life, and it will get you as a person so far in life. So my main focus today is spiritual discipline, but also self-discipline, because you can have everything in place, but if you don't have self-discipline, everything will start to fall out of place. So spiritual discipline, what is it and why is it important? So the thing of spiritual disciplines, it doesn't only develop a deeper relationship with God, but also with the people around you. Because spiritual discipline helps you develop a better attitude, more stable emotions, and a good thought pattern, and kindness, the fruit of the Spirit. That's the main goal of spiritual discipline. It will let you take the fruit of the Spirit and you will start walking in it. And spiritual discipline helps us to enrich our lives, but also the people's lives around us, friends, family, and unknown people you don't know. You treat them with spiritual discipline by obeying God's law and greeting them with a joyful heart, loving everyone around you just as Jesus loved us. So that is the spiritual discipline of things. But I want to go a bit deeper, because change begins here with yourself. And that's my focus of today, is a different approach to discipline by looking at self-discipline. And guys, I promise you, when you start to have self-discipline in your lives, it will be a game changer in every aspect of your life. So what is self-discipline? It is the ability to do what you should be doing. That's the first one. And self-discipline often means putting off your immediate comfort or wishes, the things you want right now, put them one side for long-term success. And if we look at the past few weeks, with Megan talking about commitment, Shekinah talking about the detox, Mariko that spoke last week about consumption, if you put those things together, you must have discipline, self-discipline, to walk in it, to look at your commitment, to start taking a detox, not physically, but also spiritually and emotionally. And what do I consume? Because it takes self-discipline to say, I'm not going to look at this content. And it also takes self-discipline to say, I'm going to eat healthier now. So as children of God, we should have discipline. But cloud. That is the first thing. We as children of God, we should have discipline. Not only spiritually, but for ourselves as well. And then I want to read us a part of in Hebrews 12, verse 11. No discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful. But afterwards, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. And how awesome is that? Because discipline isn't oh yes, give me more discipline. It's painful. But that's the thing. God disciplines us because He loves us. He doesn't do it out of anger, hatred, or spitefulness. He disciplines us. No. He disciplines us because He wants the best for us. He wants us to live a righteous life, to be in right standing with Him. And that's why He disciplines us, because He wants to restore relationship. If we look in the Bible, when God disciplined people or Jerusalem, or the whole Israel, when He disciplined Israel, it wasn't out of hatred. It was out of love, and to restore the loving relationship between a father and his children. And Hebrews 12 verse 6, for the Lord disciplines those He loves, and He punishes each one He accepts as His child. So we as children of God, we should be being disciplined. And if God disciplines us, it is not because He is angry with us or He is mad with us, because He loves us and He wants you to be the best version of yourself. That's why when we go through tough times, when it feels like the fire is on you, and you know that feelings, that emotions, that God is coming to cleanse us, because it's a clean out season. Disciplining is cleaning out our spiritual lives, our physical lives, our emotional lives, so that we can be a better version of ourselves and to be a better person than we were yesterday. So if we look at self-discipline, you get two things: what you want right now or what you want most. And that's a tough decision sometimes, because the thing that you want now, that comfort, that wishes of you that you want now, isn't always your long-term goal. Like, for instance, I like gym, but it requires of me a lot of self-discipline to get up 5 o'clock in the morning, because what I want 5 o'clock in the morning is to sleep for 2 more hours till 7 o'clock. But that's what I want now. But my long-term goal is to be fit, to weigh more, because I want to gain muscle. So my long-term goal is to be the better version of myself. So it requires of me to say no to sleep, of what I want now, my comfort, and go out of my comfort zone to achieve something that will be a greater good for myself. And here's a beautiful part of what is self-discipline that I got. And it says the following: self-discipline is a productive measure we can take in our lives that will limit the reactive nature of being disciplined from an outside source. And that just blew my mind. The moment you have self-discipline, the less your parents, your teachers, and God will come and discipline you, because you have self-discipline. You start to make the right choices, what will lead to a positive result. But if you don't have self-discipline, you will make bad choices. And that's when your parents, a teacher, leaders step in to discipline you. That's why God, when we are out of line, God disciplines us because He loves us to get back in order, back on track. And that is what is so awesome about self-discipline. The other thing of self-discipline is self-discipline prepares us for our journey. Luke 16 verse 10. If you are faithful in the little things, you will be faithful in the large ones. But if you are dishonest in the little things, you won't be honest with the greater responsibility. And that's the thing. Being faithful to God requires self-discipline. That's it. Being faithful to God requires self-discipline. Because you need to be faithful in the little things so that you can get greater responsibility. And God knows if you are not disciplined to take care of the little things? How will you take care of the bigger responsibilities He has in place for you? And that can be what you have now. Look at what you have now. Material things. Your own body is a temple of God. Your family, your friends, your job, your school position, your ministry position. If you want to start to be a leader at church, or if you are part of the LRC in your school, if you can't take care of that, how can God give you more responsibility? How can He allow more influence in your life if you can't take care and be faithful in the little things and the things you already have? And that and to be being faithful in the things you already have requires self-discipline. To do the right choices and making the right decisions in your life requires self-discipline. And it requires work and self-discipline to make the right choices on a daily basis. Guys, if you look at your school, you have to learn for a test and you have to study for that exam. You have to put effort and time into that school projects to pass your current grade, to move on to your next grade. And the same with God's kingdom. In order to move into a new level with God, you need to pass with what He has given you. And that's how God's kingdom works. If you have this little and you are being faithful in all those little things, He will take you, then you will be ready to be taken to the next level with God. And that's what Megan's message was all about. If I have choices to make and I make the right choices, it will lead me to make new commitments in my life, and it will become a new lifestyle, and that will automatically become a new chain reaction. So self-discipline is not easy. I promise you guys, it's not easy to begin, but start small. Start with the little things, with easy choices, and it will lead to a new lifestyle, new commitments, and that will just automatically become a new chain reaction. The other thing of self-discipline, and this is my last thing, is self-discipline keeps us healthy. And Paul wrote a beautiful part in 1 Corinthians 9 verse 27. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. Now guys, Marco's message of last week of consumption was so powerful that it made look at myself and wonder, what am I consuming? Not only physically, but also what am I looking at? What I'm keeping my brain busy with? What I'm letting into my mind? What I'm looking at the whole time? That is consuming. And what you consume determines how healthy you are, physically, but also spiritually and emotionally. And being healthy is extremely important in God's kingdom, physically. And for our spiritual lives, it is so important, because if you consume unhealthy food the whole time and you are unhealthy, you don't have the self-discipline to say no for sweet foods or any oily foods, and you say you don't have the self-discipline to say no, it's an unhealthy lifestyle. And you guys know, if you don't have enough vitamins and minerals in your body, which comes with healthy eating, you tend to become sick. And in order to work in God's kingdom, you need to have a healthy body, because you cannot do things when you are sick, when you're exhausted for God's kingdom. And sometimes we are the reason we feel like we don't hear God's voice. We are not moving spiritually forward. But what are we consuming? Do we have the self-discipline to make healthy choices in our lives? Like I said, yes, it is spiritually, but it's also physically. You cannot just eat sugar the whole time and think you are A-okay and you will be healthy. No, that's not how it works. God requires us to look to our temples because we are a living temple of God. Our bodies is a temple of God, and we should look out for it. We should take care of it. And by disciplining ourselves to be active and choose healthy foods to eat, we are giving our bodies the fuel they need to carry out God's plans. And that's what Shekinah and Marco spoke about. We need to detox our bodies as well as we need to detox our mind. And we need to start consuming healthy food in order to have a healthy body. But it's for the greater good. It's for God's kingdom. To give our bodies the right fuel, to stay active, to exercise, to eat healthy, so that our spirit man can be healthy and carry out what God has planned for us. So, is discipline an important part of God's kingdom? I think you can say yes, it is. It's very important. So guys, this is my message of discipline, and I hope you can start making new choices, start taking that detox, start looking at what you consume, and start learning yourself with self-discipline in the small things. Start in the morning with a small thing you can learn yourself. Is make up your bed first thing when you get out of it. And you will start seeing the change in your life just by making up your bed. Even though you don't feel like it, do it and you will start seeing the change. So guys, till next time, I hope you guys are blessed, and remember, take back 2020 because it's not too late. Bye guys.